Beautiful. Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Elle Boss Awards, in partnership with Veuve Clicquot, will be awarding South African female entrepreneurs. The ceremony will be happening in 29 countries globally in hope to highlight the entrepreneurial spirit. The aim is to empower, support, and encourage women in and around the world. To share more on this and the award ceremony, we're joined by Giselle Wertheim-Ames. She's the Elle publisher. She's got so many titles, slashy. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's talk about empowering women in a really, really cool way.
So we really like this award. I mean, we have a few projects where we support young rising stars in fashion, for example, and this one is now our business arm. We're working with Veuve Clicquot, and why it sets itself apart is that we really focus on a young, up-and-coming businesswoman. So a lot of the awards focus on women who've kind of been in there for a while or at the top of their game. We're really trying to motivate and inspire younger women to see that it's possible. And we're doing it both in the entrepreneurial sense and as well as corporate, because we have two streams and then we find the winner above from both of those streams. And that's kind of what sets it apart. So it is the focus on the rising, the talent.
But when you focus on that element, which I think is critical, by the way, we normally just focus on, even not to criticize any of the other awards, but they're always at a point where somebody has made it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you're also then starting a dialogue and a conversation amongst these young entrepreneurs. And what is the feedback that, as you're going through this process, through your award process, that you've been able to engage in?
Well, I think you've touched on it. So when you growing your career, it's really tough. I mean, everyone thinks it's a piece of cake, it just happens. It doesn't. So what this gives is, it gives, first of all, network, there's a support, but also it's just that encouragement to keep you going, because there are going to be setbacks along the line. I mean, women have a lot of challenges ahead of them. I mean, so do men, obviously, but I think it's also the balancing act, everything. So it's just about that. There's a public recognition as well. So it's almost like a milestone. I believe that the women that are our rising stars are the ones that are going to be those businesswomen of the year, and the Checkers and all those, the Deloittes and the Ernst & Young awards in future.
I always see Elle not as a fashion brand, but as a business brand, and it's always been able to reflect on itself and then develop and move forward. Talk to me about the fact that this award actually happens globally, that it's happening in so many different countries. That must be challenging to put an award together of that stature.
Well, we work with the partner that makes that happen, which is Veuve Clicquot. So also a French brand like Elle that's internationalized. Very interesting story behind the brand, because Veuve Clicquot was built by a woman. She was
I didn't know that.
Yes. And Veuve in French means widow. So Veuve Clicquot means widow Clicquot. She was widowed at the age of 27. She inherited her husband's farm, first female farm in the 19th century. I mean, it's just an unbelievable story. Incredibly strong, audacious woman. Takes over the farm. I mean, how many women farmers do you know today? I mean, even just in South Africa, running wine farms or champagne farms. No, it doesn't exist. There's always a man somewhere, right? She takes it over, and that is where this global brand has been born. So they created an award in the 1970s, actually, to kind of, it's like a legacy for Madame Clicquot, and it's all built around this concept of, she was extremely audacious. She had this kind of cheek to her, and that's the kind of gist and the temperament, if you want to call it, of our award. And we have a good brand synergy. So together, we both really have a desire to support younger women, to find that audacious leader, and they hold the ceremony around the world. So we basically on the coattails of
very quickly. So how are these young entrepreneurs identified? Very quickly.
So we put out we just call for entries online on our website, www.l.co.za. You enter. And then we have a judging panel. I mean, we have to sift through obviously a lot. We get down to a final 6. It's pretty tough going, because we can get hundreds of entries. And you can self-nominate, but you have to have someone who just stands for you. And then we check all that stuff out. We take about a month to check that. And then we have the final award is actually done in person. We sit and we conduct interviews. The panel interviews all the finalists. And then we have to choose 2. And then from the 2, we choose 1.
Giselle, and then if you're crowned the winner, if you're the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, what do you gain? What do you get?
Okay, so first of all, as you know, Elle is a global brand too. So whatever we do in our brand, it goes
reflected everywhere.
Exactly, it goes global. And we know in this year, in this age we live in, it's digital, so it spreads. So first of all, it's a recognition. There's little prizes along the way. We don't put a big prize money, but Veuve Veuve put up the prize money. They get a trip to go to France with Veuve. They get exposed to that whole global network and that women's network, and they get to be immersed in the brand. So they get that whole brand thinking of how they've been so extremely successful around the world. It's extraordinary. I mean, it's just it's a gift of a lifetime.
Talking about brand thinking, Elle itself as a monster has been able to
Monster.
It's a monster.
Cheeky girl.
has it been able to just kind of keep ahead of the curve and make sure that because it has really diversified, it's also holistically embraced multimedia?
Yeah. Sam, very good question. So, we are a brand, and I'm so glad you said that, because people say it's magazines. No, it's not. Elle is a brand, and the one, I think, we all told to be adaptable as human beings.
Yeah.
This is a brand that's adaptable. So it morphs itself. It's on digital platforms. You find it in video. We find it in events. It's on, it's on podcasts. So it's not about, in fact, there's an Elle store launching at the Mall of Africa.
Wow.
I mean, I unfortunately don't control, I'm not the creator of that concept, but it's part of the whole Elle network. So they've taken this brand and they've been able to extend it into a variety of different platforms. It lives well beyond the pages.
Wow, that is absolutely exciting. And then you've also developed a multimedia platform that now, from video content, that people have responded to the video content as much as they respond to the actual printed form.
I think this is the future. I mean, in fact, we've just filmed a virtual reality video. We're still working on the editing of it. So it is the way forward. As we know, that's what people do with their iPads or their cell phones. They're downloading. YouTube is growing much faster than most platforms. So. Yes,
I've got a very crazy question, and from somebody I didn't expect it at all. My director Warren wants to know, what will they be selling in the store? That's a man asking.
No, interesting. Yeah. So they are actually selling clothes. They have a whole branded range of Elle label clothes, not Elle, necessarily on the front, but and merchant and accessories and that. And they've done that very successfully in countries around the world, in Japan, in the US.
And how does that tie into in terms of what you're going to find in the magazine? Well, will you be able to find what's in the magazine there?
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, we do it on merit. So if it's on merit, if it's on trend, and we're doing a shoot. But obviously we're in the family, so we're going to be activating with them, and we want to see them succeid. I mean, if they succeed, we succeed.
By the way, my director's very fashion forward, so maybe
that's great. We need more.
I was trying to be funny there. Giselle, Elle publisher. She's the big boss. She's talking to us about the Elle Boss Awards Gala Dinner in partnership with Veuve Clicquot. It's all about female entrepreneurs. Go and Google the details, find out more, and get involved. That's the best thing you can do. Let's take an ad break. Don't go anywhere.